Ladies and gentlemen,
Let's go.
Gaming, tech, culture.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go.
You're listening to the Cool Black Nerd Podcast, presented by Say What Radio.
Welcome everybody to episode number 7 of the Cool Black Nerd Podcast. It's me, your host, Jules, joined today by Justice.
Hello.
And we are recording the 7th episode.
Thank you for tuning in, peoples.
So, what do we have? What we got today? We went to San Diego Comic-Con. It was litty. That's what the young people say, I think. It was litty.
Very much so. I honestly did not know what to expect and still was surprised.
I agree with that. I had no idea what was going on. You know, when you think of Comic-Con, you think, I don't know, I just didn't realize it was that big. I knew it was a big event. But, you know, we got there, the convention center, I knew that was going to be part of it, but I didn't expect to see buildings with events, hotels with events. The whole gas lamp district was Comic-Con'd out with whoever was sponsoring whatever kind of buildings, and even the restaurants you went in to eat breakfast had stuff going on. It was just nuts. And then we didn't even go to the yachts. So, you know, got yachts out in the harbor.
The marina, yeah.
Like, it was crazy stuff, just craziness.
I want to say if we had to do a percentage of everything that is at Comic-Con or was at this Comic-Con, I would say we probably only got to maybe 20%.
I'm sure there was probably stuff that we didn't even see, like even from afar, that we didn't even see at all. Like that Amazon Prime thing, like I don't even know what was going on in there.
No, yeah.
They just it looked like they had a park to themselves. I have no idea what was happening in there. Yeah. Walking Dead had something blocked off with a zombie.
Oh,
at least one in there.
It was a few in there, like people had to get rid of. I mean, not get rid of, but get away from, because there was a kid trying to play with one of the zombies. I was like, no, please get your child away from this.
Man, the zombie wasn't real now. Come on now.
I know, but still.
The kid was trying to take a picture of something. So he's all right.
It's not a puppy, Jules.
I mean, it's just a paid actor, puppy, same thing.
Wow.
No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding about that. So what would you say you enjoyed the most at Comic-Con?
The panels were great. I honestly thought with panels that they were longer for some reason, or maybe it just felt like that watching them, they felt longer. But in them, they're at the most maybe 20 minutes or something like that. But you did get a lot of information just kind of sitting and talking with that.
I didn't know how long panels were. I was just surprised. Like when you see panels, you really only see the highlights.
True.
So it seems like when they say, oh, we took questions from the audience, that they had, who knows how many people get a chance to go up and ask questions. When in reality, it's like 2 questions, maybe 2 people if the first person don't take too long. That's about it. So we got to see, what panels did we see? We got to see the CW panels.
Pretty much.
So we saw the Arrow, we saw Supergirl, we saw Black Lightning.
Yes. We were going to watch the Flash one, but honestly, we had been there all day, been in line all day and doing stuff all day. So we kind of dipped out on the Flash one. We had just missed the Supernatural one for the most part. I mean, those are the ones that we liked anyways. Did have the announcement of Mr. Roth returning as Superman.
Yep, for the second time. And nobody remembers he was Superman before.
I hope he gets a better chance at being able to do that this time. It's not that he was a bad Superman. I think, in my opinion, I think he was just kind of like giving crap material to work with.
Yeah, he was in Superman Returns, and it was just a bad movie. But you know, he has another chance. I think I forgot which series it's on though. Was it Arrow?
No, it's not going to be Arrow. I believe it was Supergirl.
No. It was definitely Arrow. I remember.
It was Arrow. You're right.
It was Arrow. Supergirl had it looked like they had every person that's ever been on the show, period, up there. They had about 37 people on the stage, and that's kind of what's letting me remember that it wasn't him, because he came out at the end of Arrow.
Yes,
like a surprise.
Yes, Supergirl.
Showed off, you know, the little emblem from the logo that he's going to be wearing. And that was cool. Black Lightning panel.
About the Black Lightning panel, one of the people in the audience, one of their questions was, one guy asked one of the most intricate woke questions to Black Lightning, and it just kind of made all the other questions from the audience kind of look just like, it's like, damn, like for real. One question that was asked, would Black Lightning be entered into the Arrowverse? And basically Chris was like, yeah. So that'll be interesting to me. Like, who's going to come to Freedom?
Yeah. He said, yeah, it's going to be in the Arrowverse, but it's not going to be Black Lightning going to
Yeah, Central
The
City or
Arrow is going to
whatever.
be them
They'll be
coming
coming to
to
Freeland.
Yeah. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
How they make that happen. I like that panel probably the most just because when that panel happened, the whole vibe changed. Like,
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure everybody could pick up on it, but it was more like a family reunion type of,
Well, even the
Frankie
host
Beverly
said
and
it.
Mays probably started playing in the background or something. A little Earth, Wind, and Fire.
A little bit. But even the host said it. She said, like the people who know the show or who are for this show, they're sitting in the back most likely because they were asked, hollering and all kind of stuff like that. But when you were in the other panels, they were more subdued and people were just like, yay, kind of just, once they came out, it was you're right. It was a lot different. But the thing that I enjoyed the most is probably what everyone goes to Comic-Con to see was the costumes.
The costume, yeah, they were.
The creativity of some of these people is just amazing. Some of the things that they thought of, like the Night King. You see the Night King, you think, okay, that's one way to do a character, and it's very regal and distinguished and blah, 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 right? You wouldn't think of the Night King taking a vacation.
No, you would not expect to see the Night King wearing a Hawaiian shirt and some board shorts.
And flip-flops. I mean, full get up.
Yeah. My man even had his legs painted. It was legit. It was legit.
Yeah.
I like the costumes too, but I'm different than most people. It's cool, you know what I'm saying, that people get their costumes together and they make it look like it's a costume straight from the movie or the TV show or straight out of the comic book.
Yes.
That's cool, and I appreciate that. But what really does it for me is the people who just make something happen as fast as they can. Those are the ones I like to see. That's why Magneto was my favorite. Magneto came in there with that plastic bucket with an M cut into it, like spray painted maroon with a plastic cape, a maroon shirt, some blue jeans,
and red shoes.
Some red, yeah. He was. I mean, hey, it was like the best.
Because when you think of Comic-Con, like there was one lady who was there dressed as one of the Valkyries from God of War with the movable wings and everything. Like that looked amazing. I was like, that's crazy. And you could tell she put time and effort into it. But you also saw Magneto there living his best life with that Party City tablecloth wrapped around him and that bucket. So can't really be mad at that.
I love seeing the people who just rig something together in a creative way.
Yeah,
man.
Jules didn't get to see him, but the kid that I saw, I thought was very, very creative. His mom made a samurai suit out of pizza boxes and shoelaces. I thought that was amazing because if you looked at it, you were like, what the? Seriously? Yes.
Huh.
No.
All right. Yeah, I didn't see that. It sounds interesting. I probably would have enjoyed that one very much just because, I mean, that's what I like to see. I like to see people putting it together, making it out of stuff that they just got at the house.
Yep. Do it big. Now, I will say this. Go with somebody that's going to keep you from spending all your money. Because I brought Jules, and Jules just let me go ham.
I didn't. I disagree with that wholeheartly.
Jules just let me go ham in like 20 minutes. I was just bank literally cut my card off.
Well, I mean, that has nothing to do with me. You're an adult. You make your own financial decisions. I was just encouraging you to enjoy yourself. And if I definitely did. All your money is what was going to make you enjoy yourself, I was down with that.
I had a blast.
Yep, I did too. Hopefully we get a chance to go next year. I definitely want to go to that. I'll say this though, one thing that I do feel about Comic-Con, leave your kids at home. That's all I got to say. You don't
cannot do that. I told you that.
Why not? I mean, little 4 and 5-year-old kids don't need to be running around at Comic-Con, and definitely don't have your stroller riding baby at Comic-Con. It's 130,000 people out there. You can't be pushing a stroller through 130,000 people. That's just ridiculous. I mean, you want to get mad when people don't move out the way. Where can we go, ma'am or sir? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's 97 people in front of me. Where you want me to go? Tell your son stop kicking the back of my legs.
As akin to people saying that, there shouldn't be adults in Disneyland without a kid or something like that. Or, I don't know.
Nope, I disagree because adults have money.
Yeah.
And adults don't kick it. Well, I mean, some of them do. You saw that fight at Disneyland a couple of weeks ago. Somebody definitely got the back of their legs kicked. But that's a whole nother issue.
Okay, one thing, in the age of technology and people acting a fool, don't do it. I'm sorry. That entire video was just so unnecessary. It turned out that it was just a whole family feud type thing. They were all family. And I believe the only reason why they did not get arrested is because even though, well, at the time they didn't have the video. Oh, I take that back. Even though people had seen it and said, hey, yeah, they were the ones fighting, when the police talked to them, everyone was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know why they're saying we fighting.
Yeah, we didn't do nothing.
Yeah, they didn't have the video at that time, but then they opened up an investigation, of course, afterwards. But I still think that they're all going like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I can see that, especially if they're not from the state. At some point, they're just going to let that one go. Like, just if they went back to wherever they might have been from, what you going to do?
That was just terrible. It was absolutely terrible.
Yeah, it was horrible. Even though we are joking about it, that was definitely a horrible, horrible thing. It was a horrible look. It was all bad. In all honesty, at least one of the guys should definitely be in jail.
Buster.
I don't know his name.
Well, we all just gave him a name anyway. He looked like a fake Buster Rhymes. So.
You know, I'm not even going to put that on Buster Rhymes. Whatever dude it was, that dude need to be in jail. I'm not going to say he looked like Buster Rhymes because somebody might try to go out there and get Buster for this. He ain't got nothing to do with it.
Please, people don't think it's Buster.
Anyway, enough of that ignorance that happened at Disney World. Comic-Con, I think for me, at the biggest moment, though, well, not the biggest moment, but probably the thing I enjoyed the most was meeting Sebastian Roberts and Doug May,
yes,
the creators of the Niobe comic book series. They recently, I don't know if you call it getting signed or picked up as a series for HBO.
So that'll be interesting. It'll be kind of like the way they did Spawn back in the day on HBO.
I think that the series has a lot of potential. I've actually started reading some of the comic books. It's pretty good. I think for me, it's very interesting because it's not just about Niobe. It's really like world building, like this whole
entire world. Okay.
Series or book that I'm reading, even though she's in it, it's not really
just her
about her.
Okay.
She plays a very important role in it. The story is paced pretty well. I don't necessarily want to spoil it for anybody, but basically the gist of it is there's a man who was a brutal, like, warlord, let's say, but he was a good man with his wife and kids. He goes off to war. And while he's away, the other people in his village, or the village, that he was in charge of, killed his family. And when he came back, to him, that killed like the only light that he had left within him. So he just became this purely evil guy. And they end up killing him, and he goes to hell, and he makes a deal with the devil to save his wife and his child. Like, they'll be resurrected if he kills the 7 people that killed him. So he gets sent back to the world. And as he's going through this list, he meets this girl. And it turns out that this girl is Niobe, and she is the 7th person.
What?
But she also, as in the process of meeting her, she becomes like a new source of good for him. So now he's struggling with what to do with her. And that's just the beginning. Like, that's just how she gets introduced. Like, there's so much more to it that I have no idea about because I haven't read that far. But so far, it's really just been all about him and his story, and a lot of world building, introducing you to a bunch of different races and classes of people and everything.
Wow. I saw on their Instagram, and you can follow them on Instagram. It's Stranger Comics on Instagram. But I saw on there that they were actually just releasing their role-playing version of this game. Like, it's kind of, I guess, in the vein of like D&D type thing or something like that, or maybe even like a board. I forgot what it is, but if you go to their Instagram, you'll be able to see and get more information on that. So Stranger Comics on Instagram.
Definitely follow them. I think it's going to be a great thing. One thing I guess I forgot to mention about Niobe is that it is a Black female that is apparently going to be the hero, or if not a hero, at least this whole world sort of revolves around her.
She's a savior of some way.
Yes, she's a savior for this world somehow. Yet to be revealed, at least to me. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, Stranger Comics, you definitely find them on Instagram. You can find them on their website, strangercomics.com. Please go and support them because we do.
Very interesting, guys. Honestly, we were walking in Comic-Con. We had done one round, I think, at that point, or trying to do a round. We got stuck in a group of fanboys going crazy over Fluke Skywalker.
Yeah, fake Mark Hamill, definitely.
And that was the first thing Jules saw this giant poster of Niobe. I mean, beautiful artwork. When you see that artwork, it's just almost mesmerizing. And Jules was like, we got to talk to them, but we couldn't get over to that side at that time. So we had to make another round, came back and was able to talk to them. Very nice guys, completely humbling to speak to them. And then one of the things that they posted that they were able to do was recreate I think it's 1922 picture of in Harlem, of a lot of prominent Black creators and artists and things like that. They recreated that picture at Comic-Con and they were a part of it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I didn't see that. That sounds dope.
Yeah.
But, I kind of have a little bit of hope for comic books and Black artists, Black writers, Black stories in the future, man. I hope that we get to see a whole lot more of that.
A whole lot more.
And I like that these guys are independent, and with HBO picking them up, hopefully there'll be more opportunities.
Yes. And more opportunities to speak with them as well. I am lobbying for them. I was trying to get one while I was there. I'm lobbying for a interview with them.
Oh, yeah. That'd be dope. Hopefully that can happen.
If you guys want it, we'll do it.
Before they don't want to mess with us little guys anymore. Hopefully we can get that done.
Pretty much.
So, yeah, that was Comic-Con.
Yeah, I have to say that was one of my life's goals, to be able to go to a Comic-Con. I've been to some of the events here in Houston. Jules, I think you have as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I've definitely been to some in Houston, but nothing like San Diego Comic-Con, guys. If you've never been, whatever you imagine it to be is way bigger than that. You just have to see it to believe it. It just doesn't even make sense. That's all I can say.
Honestly, I know some people, they were like, well, it's blown out of proportion. It's real Hollywood. Yeah, maybe to some people who were going to it when it was a lot more low key and it wasn't as kind of glitz and glamour type thing. But for someone like me who had never seen anything like that, it was still amazing. It really, really was. And I know that this was the 50th anniversary for it. So I knew that they would do a big, and they completely demolished like I said, I didn't have any expectations because I didn't know what to expect, but anything that I could have ever even dreamed of, blown out of the water.
Yep, absolutely. And you know what? I'm just going to say this. The way that we entered, we came in, guys, we walking down the street to the convention center. You see all this stuff going on downtown. You see just all these signs and billboards and everything going on everywhere. You walk into the convention center and you're like, oh shit, it's 1 million people in here. But in that first hallway, you're just like, it doesn't really look like a whole lot is happening in here. But as soon as you walk through the doors to like one of those halls, that thing just blows up into a epic comic, movies, TV shows,
everything.
Video games,
all in one.
Toys, figurines, action figures, Legos, and costumes, and artists and writers. It's just crazy. It's just a crazy amount of stuff going on. And it still manages to be like an industry convention with a bunch of different panels and workshops going on that you get to have access to. So it's definitely something you should check out if you had an opportunity to do it.
And the tickets are hard to get as far as time. They were not as expensive as I thought they would be. But I just know, like I said, it was more about time and getting the tickets than the money. I was really surprised at that. And like, as Jules said, some of the workshops that they have is very, very interesting, and you could probably learn a lot from it, or you could just network. The networking opportunities at this place is, I mean, holy but Jesus. They have Twitch panels, they have streaming panels, content panels, creation panels. Like, if you don't know what you want to do, but you think that you want to get into something like podcasting or streaming games, whatever, just anything necessarily in the entertainment industry, or just being creative, they have a lot of that there. So it does give a little bit more value to it. I will say it can be somewhat expensive, so take the time to save a little bit for it, because the rooms aren't cheap. Like, if you want to stay in a room, it's not cheap. If you want to do an Airbnb, it's not cheap, because they jack up the prices because they can. And everything else will be jacked up as well. The Ubers were not as bad. I was expecting to have like surge pricing or something with Ubers, but they really didn't have anything for that.
No, yeah, there wasn't any surge pricing. I think that might be because it's so big that people aren't concentrated in one spot trying to leave.
Yeah.
Like they're leaving from all over the downtown or all Gaslamp District, all different parts of the convention center. So I think it's just, the event is so big that I think it just avoids surge pricing, literally just because geographically it's such a huge space. Go to it if you can, people. That's all I can say.
There's some other things that actually happened this week, but we wanted to talk about that because we hadn't really done a show in the last, couple months.
It's been a while. Yeah. It ain't been months, but it's been a while. It's been maybe 1 month.
Okay, I'm sorry, 1 month. But also, like I said, this is something I always wanted to go to, and being able to bring Jules along and have this cool Black Nerd podcast type thing, that just, man, I felt like a boss. I'm not gonna lie. Say, yeah, we podcast. We came to
Oh yeah, it was
Comic-Con.
definitely legit.
But I don't know how I'm going to get home with all this stuff. Because, again, I didn't plan on buying half a Comic-Con when I got there. And Jules didn't stop me.
Yeah, I'd say, you can say that. You can say I didn't stop you, but you can't say I made you spend money.
I didn't say you made me. You just let me.
Okay, that's fine. Whatever. You spent what you wanted to spend. So what else is going on in Black Nerddom? What else is popping?
Well, there's a lot of stuff going on as far as like gaming. You know, they're going to release a new Switch. It's supposed to be like a Switch Lite or whatever, but I'm not really a Switch person. I saw that there were some new games. I need to open up more to that, but I've never really been, since like old Nintendo, I've never really been into that. A lot of friends play the Mario and the Mario Kart. I'm just like, eh.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm here to let you know, one, you tripping. That stuff is actually pretty fun. Nintendo Switch, I don't have one. I definitely want. I want to play Zelda games. Like, Nintendo for me is all about nostalgia. Yeah, give me Mario Kart, give me Smash Brothers, give me all of that. I want it all. So if they're coming out with a new Switch or something that's going to be, I think the Switch Lite is supposed to be a little bit more portable.
Yeah,
Even
it's
though
only
the Switch
portable.
itself, yeah, it is portable. I think this one's probably going to be a little bit smaller, probably a little bit easier for, people to handle. So it's something I'm definitely interested in.
I think the market that they're looking for is kind of like what they did with the Nintendo DS, and it's more towards kids, things like that.
Yeah.
But aren't they kind of pricing themselves out of the market at that point for kids? Because you have to compete with the Switch and the Switch. You said Switch Lite, right?
Yeah, Switch Lite. I mean, I don't think so. I mean, it is the Switch Lite. I don't think so. I don't think you're pricing yourself out of the market with that. I think they'll do all right. Like, Nintendo makes a different play with video games now. Like, they're not necessarily trying to just be the market leader. Like, we've seen them coming out with consoles, that are comparatively underpowered when compared to other consoles they release in the same generation. Like, just look at Nintendo Switch versus like Xbox One S or whatever it's called now, and PS4 Pro, and they just came out with the Switch. It's like, we play Mario and Zelda and Mario Kart, but it does it really well. It's not about having
They play their strengths.
the latest and greatest console. Yeah, they're kind of catering to their core fans and the kids and kind of family style games.
Mm-hmm.
And their console is just always about doing something that's different from a creative standpoint, like the Wii was, like coming out with the interactive controllers versus having the best graphics in the world. So,
yeah. I did notice that there was some things that came out about Stadia. People are still hating on Stadia coming out. And we're more open-minded to it, wanting to try it, see how it goes. If it crashes and burns, it crashes and burns. But there was an AMA in Reddit that was done by one of the marketing people, I believe, or product people for Stadia. And they were not the best in reassuring people in some of their issues. Like, one of the issues that people keep bringing up is that they will not own the content. I think the reason why I haven't had the biggest problem with that yet is I don't own this content right now anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I'm playing Destiny 2. I don't own this content. If they want to cut me out of their servers, I paid $60 and I can't do anything. And that's kind of the same thing for this. The only problem that they have with Stadia is that you pay the $60 and you're paying the monthly fee and you still don't have anything. Whereas with this, and this, mind you, for any console, for PC version of Destiny, there's no issue. But for console versions of Destiny, you're still paying essentially the same thing, because you have to pay for PS Plus or Xbox Gold. Because if you don't have any internet connection to their services, they will not allow you to play these games. So I don't really see the difference in that, where they're saying, oh, you'll get free games or whatever. I'm like, how is that different at that point? They're like, oh, it's a little bit cheaper. Seriously?
I don't get that complaint because, like you said, right now, if you're playing on a console, the exact complaint that you have can happen either way.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever, guys, get over it yourselves.
But I mean, if you go to YouTube and just kind of type in Stadia, is a lot of people really, really hating on it. They're pushing it away. It's just saying like, oh, it's going to be a dumpster fire. It's going to be a dump truck and all kind of shit.
Yeah.
I get it. Now, okay, like the whole Sonic thing, I akin it to that same controversy. The Sonic movie, when it came out, everyone was like, what? Really? This is just when it was announced.
Yeah.
But you were like, okay, I'll watch it. They gave that more credibility or doubt or credence at that point rather than when they saw it, then everybody was like, oh shit, what is this? Okay, I would like people to do that for Stadia. If it comes out and it fucking sucks, then okay, yeah, they were wrong. It's going to go away anyway. It'll go the path of Google Glass.
Yeah.
But don't hate on it prior to that. Another thing that I think, and that's just what I said, that they're like, I don't have any faith in Google keeping this going, because Google tends to get bored after a while and go like, we're done.
Google is a business. If it ain't making money, then obviously that's what happens.
Exactly.
I don't think it really has to do with Google saying, we're done just randomly. Like, if it doesn't make sense business wise, obviously it's not going to be something that they keep working with. I hope it's successful, because I really think that for people who don't have the time to build their own PC or the money to invest in a PC, I think that's going to be, honestly, the least expensive way for them to be able to experience what are going to end up being AAA games in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because if you look at consoles, you look at PCs, all of that stuff, it's advancing quickly, but it's also getting more expensive, and the barrier to entry is getting a lot higher.
So much higher.
So hopefully that works out, and I'm looking forward to it. I got it pre-ordered. I don't know about you, but I'm ready.
I've got it pre-ordered as well, and a lot of people were just like, that I've told that to, who game and things, well, that's stupid. This shit is going to be dumb. I'm willing to try it. Hell, if for anything, it'll make a good, interesting episode for the podcast or for streaming. As a matter of fact, Say What Radio on Twitch, go check out the stream that Jules and I did the other day for Iron Banner. That shit was hilarious. That shit was hilarious. I honestly see this being the way that it goes. It's kind of, in my eyes, akin to kind of like Napster and LimeWire was. It may turn into something else to where it makes things better. Like that led the way to iTunes Store, to digital streaming, to where you're no longer buying CDs.
That's true. That is very true. When we first heard about it, I told you what I thought. I think it's going to be a game changer.
I now am on board with that. Jules seems to have the foresight. He also predicted Game of Thrones stuff too as well. So I'm going to ride with him on that.
Oh,
you
my
can just
goodness.
get the lottery numbers. That's all I'm saying.
That I can't. I don't really have insight into that one.
Damn it.
I don't know how to do that. I've been trying,
Damn
but I just can't quite put those numbers together.
Slacking.
Yep. Let me see what else is popping. We got Destiny 2 news a little bit. I know y'all probably get tired of us talking about Destiny 2, but whatever. It's in the news. So Destiny 2 Shadowkeep is getting delayed. It's only getting delayed 2 weeks. And they've said that, it needs more time. 2 weeks is not a whole lot of time. We're talking about game development. I think they're really just trying to avoid all of those September launches, like Borderlands 3. I think it's new Call of Duty coming out. I think they're just trying to get outside of those launches and have their own time to shine. I think that's what it's about.
Oh, another thing that actually happened, and this is why we're into this gaming stuff as it is. So wish I'd have started this earlier. Fortnite.
Oh, yeah.
Just had their tournaments of tournaments where, what is this child's name? I don't even know how to say his name, but he's 16 years old and won $3 million.
Yeah, $3 million for first place.
I think one of the lowest loser had like 900,000, and he was from Argentina.
He's not the lowest loser. Let's take that out.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Let's take that out. The lowest loser didn't even get to go to the tournament. The lowest loser was sitting at home buying his battle pass with his mom and dad credit card.
The lowest loser was me.
Yeah. But these kids, they're probably top, I don't know how many people were in the tournament, but if it was 50 people in the tournament, please believe this was the top 50 Fortnite players on the planet. So yeah, they made a whole lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like 15 years old. I'm not mad at it.
At all. The kid who won the 900,000, I think in Argentina, the yearly salary, I think it's somewhere around 15 grand or something like that.
Yeah.
Annual or something like that. So this is millions to them. I think even in Argentinian money, I think it's $40 million or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
Adjusted for inflation.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Another thing that has happened, this actually just happened. I saw this before we came on. So Ninja, who is the most, he has the most followers on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
He streams Fortnite for the most part as well. He jumped from Twitch to Microsoft's Mixer.
Yep. I actually did see that today. These are my thoughts on that. I'm not sure that that's really going to make Mixer any more successful than it has been or would have been. It's been my experience that when something is established, like a Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, stuff like that. If it's not somehow different, it's not going to be that successful after it's already been established as it is.
It has to be different in some. You're right. It has to be something that's different in some way. But on Twitch, he has 14.7 million followers. As of right now, he hasn't even started streaming yet. As of right now on Mixer, he has 80,000 followers.
Okay.
That's ridiculous.
I guess that's a lot for Mixer. I don't know. I mean, I would question if Mixer period has 14.7 million people. I'm just saying, because other than just now, I've never heard of Mixer. And I don't know what else to say about it other than that. For me, I'm not interested in following him over to Mixer, but, you know, I don't watch people playing Fortnite. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's cool for him. I'm sure he's going to make a lot of money with however much they paid him to stream exclusively on Mixer. Hopefully, you know, there'll be opportunities for more people to get that same kind of deal. I hope all of that works out for the better, and I hope Twitch gets some competition, and I hope that means people who do stream on Twitch and have enough followers to get compensated. I hope that means they'll get compensated even better than they do now. That's how I feel about that.
When I saw this, I was like, Mixer. I'm thinking, like, is he podcasting or something now? Or... I didn't know what that was.
I had not heard of it either. So, I mean, I'll give him that. Mission accomplished. I've heard of Mixer now.
Yeah.
But I'm still not interested in
because once Twitch was purchased by Amazon, they actually made a great push in integrating it with people who have Prime and other stuff. And considering that I think Prime is close to like almost 100 million subscribers, something like that. It's like they had a built-in base for that to begin with. And then it was free to most people for others. It was like, come on, man. Like, why wouldn't I be on Twitch? Microsoft tends to do that a lot. People are talking about Google losing interest in doing stuff. You know how much shit Microsoft has done and started?
You had the Microsoft Zoom, Windows Phone. You almost had Xbox on this list.
It's true. It's very, very true.
Oh, no, yeah, they do. They do. But Microsoft got the pockets to do that. I guess Google does too, but that's what Microsoft does. They try to jump in. They're a little bit late to the party.
A little bit. Well, actually, what I didn't know is that Mixer has been around. I'm looking at this 2016. I didn't even know that.
Okay, you know what that's starting to sound like? Then it's starting to sound like Google Plus. Yeah, man. Good luck, Microsoft. Good luck, Ninja. I'm gonna give Ninja 6 months before he starts streaming on Twitch again.
Well, I'm pretty sure they got him in a contract, but yeah, you're right. If he played his cards right, he can do it. Hopefully he got a better...
Oh, he had to. If he got this exclusivity deal, they definitely got to be paying him a grip.
Another thing that I saw that was very interesting is, since competitive gaming seems to be something that is coming up and making so many people money, I saw that Sony is planning to do something like that. They're launching seasonal online tournaments. So
I'm with that.
It's similar to what a lot of people do in most of their communities, where they host these tournaments for whatever game that you're playing, whether it be Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, hell, even Smash Brothers and Mario Kart and things like that. And they have like little cash prizes, or even that you're able just to get little products like AirPods, iPad, whatever. But Sony's actually going to start doing it themselves. The ones that they're starting off with are Mortal Kombat, Warface, and Battlefield 5. Kicks off on August 6th.
All right, so that's something I can see working. I'm down with that.
Yeah, if it's coming directly from Sony, yeah, I think it could actually work. Only thing is this going to be kind of something that they go into in their next generation? Because the newest, it would be a PS5, sorry. PS5 will be dropping in 2020, and that's not too far away.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something you would continue. Like, you're not going to just stop doing that. I think that's a good way to get community involvement with your games, give people something to look forward to. That's also a chance for them to kind of generate interest in some games that might be lagging. So I think it'll be good.
I can't really see anything other than Sony. They have great exclusives, but so many people are turning against exclusives because they hate the Epic Store is actually done in locking down so many great titles for the PC players. But people have always been so mad about Sony grabbing all of these exclusives and things like that. So can they continue to do all this later on?
Yeah, I mean, as long as they got the money, as long as game publishers and the people who are making the games are looking for ways to generate extra revenue, of course they'll be able to do it. And if you really think about it, Sony has done a great job of developing their own studios that produce a lot of their first party content. So like God of War being an exclusive game, that's a Sony studio. Like that game is not going to be on anything else. There's so many other games like Gran Turismo back in the day, the Crash Bandicoot series, like just a lot of games that Sony's done a good job of developing their own kind of in-house studios, and they make great games.
Horizon Zero Dawn was another one that's very, very good. You're right. Well, no, right. Wait.
Yeah, that's a Sony studio. Yeah.
Is it a Sony only studio? You serious?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know there was a Sony only game, but I didn't know if it was a studio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I will say that they're very good at doing the games that they have that are exclusive to them. Even Last of Us are quality games. I cannot really say that for any game that has just been only on Xbox, because I can't even think of one that's just been only on Xbox, honestly.
Alan Wake was really good. That was probably for me personally, the last one where I was like, that's something I got to play. I don't know, with the launch of Xbox One, then Microsoft made a lot of mistakes initially, and they're still trying to catch up. And I think part of that was they didn't really invest as heavily in first party development like Sony did. They weren't as interested in working with independent studios like Sony was to put like a lot of these digital only games that seem weird in concept, but actually turn out to be really great games. Sony put more of a focus on actually making the gaming console and its ecosystem be about games.
Very true.
Where Microsoft initially with Xbox One, their goal was it plays games, but it's also your cable box.
Yeah.
It's also this thing. It's also that thing. I think they kind of lost focus of what it really needed to be as successful as it could be. So they're playing catch up. I think they've done a great job lately coming out with some new things. And I think that whenever their next generation console, comes out, we'll probably see them taking a different direction. And to that point, I'm concerned that Sony might actually go the way that Microsoft tried to go. So we'll see if those roles kind of switch with this next console generation.
God, I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not, because I love Sony products. Xbox is cool, don't get me wrong, but Sony is where it's at for me personally.
Well, I think the only reason is because Sony was able to lock down that stuff. It could be that Xbox development and their games or whatnot, they had stories like Last of Us. They had this, they just didn't act on it or things like that. But it's funny that a lot of the stuff that people hated on or do hate on for Xbox is what a lot of people do nowadays. So like you said, for Xbox in the beginning, they were trying to make it this one and done console. It does everything. It cleans your shoes. It makes this. You can use it as PC and things like that because they were trying to appeal to more audiences.
So the way they saw you're going to have a box in your living room connected to your TV. They wanted their box to be the box that does everything. So it was the only box you needed. That's literally why it was called Xbox One. Like, this is the one box that does it all. And yeah, that just didn't work. They made a box that does everything but doesn't do anything well.
Very much so. But honestly, that is what your smartphone necessarily does a lot of the times now. People use that for pretty much anything, or they have a tablet. A lot of people don't have laptops like they used to nowadays because they want to have just one device to do all this stuff. They'll have a Chromecast and just stream from their phone and stuff like that. So initially, that's what it's just that they honestly, I think they were just ahead of their time with their stuff because they always had the DRM where you had to have some sort of internet connection if you wanted to play a game or whatever.
Right. And now that's normal.
Yeah. The price hike that they had, that's pretty much what is coming out for these games now. I think they were just ahead of the game on everything, and people were just like, the fuck?
Yeah. I can agree with that. Fine. I'll accept it. Whatever. Go Xbox. Get it together, Microsoft. That's what I have to say. Get it together. Learn from your mistakes. Get it together. You've made a vast improvement so far. Just keep it going.
Yeah. Last thing. I did not send this to you, and I should have. But there's a streamer on Twitch called Gamer Girl. She's like really popular.
Okay. Based on the way you said that, I'm concerned.
She began to sell products like most people do when you're a streamer. One of her products that she did, I think this was maybe a couple weeks ago, was her bath water.
Her bath water?
Yeah.
All right. Well, here, there's some people out there with some interests, you know what I'm saying? And if she found a way to make money selling her bath water, more power to it.
The sick part, or the shit that got me, is that somebody actually kind of like spoofed her, and one of the things that it was like gamer girl pee.
Oh
And
man, somebody bought it.
Yeah,
Somebody bought that pee.
somebody bought it from some random ass person.
Mm.
But the fact that this was even a thing, if you went on YouTube and typed in gamer girl bathwater or just gamer girl, that was the only thing that, because guys were like livid over this.
They were mad that she sold her bath water.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get mad because you can't sell your bath water. Step your game up. Figure out something you can sell. I don't know. Do people like to buy men's socks or something? I can't.
You're right. Is there like a market for just weird
Yeah, I don't
stuff
know.
like
I don't
this
think
or
so.
not?
I don't think men have a weird stuff market.
Wow, you're right.
Yeah, if you really think about it, I don't know. I don't know that there's.
Like women could, oh wow, like there's nothing. Holy shit.
I can't imagine what somebody would buy from a man. Like I know I've seen women like selling used shoes and whatever, but
Mm.
I ain't never heard of a man selling like a sweaty tank top. I don't know.
Oh wow, Joseph. Just the thought of that, just like ew.
Okay, would you buy a sweatshirt that smelled like the dude, like if he had wore a specific cologne or something?
Now, if it's a cologne, I love colognes. I love colognes and perfumes and things like that.
So what is like somebody that, let's say, you are enamored with from afar as a fan?
Well, until today, like I said, I had my two, which was Ryan Reynolds and Idris Elba, but Idris lost that today.
He did. Okay, so if Ryan Reynolds starts selling like, hey, this is this sweatshirt I wore on Tuesday, it's
Yeah, I don't
$30.
know.
Would you buy it?
No, I don't know.
No, it's not like sweaty. I'm not saying, he didn't work out in it. Like it ain't a nasty sweatshirt. It's just, this is the sweater that I wore to the studio today before we started filming.
As long as he don't stink.
As long as it don't stink. Okay, well.
I wouldn't buy it. I'd want to smell it though.
Yeah. So see, but that's the thing though. Like you'd want to smell it, but you wouldn't pay for it. Here's the thing: what dudes would do? Dudes would be like, "I want to smell it, and I'm gonna buy it. Here's my credit card." And I think that's the difference. Dudes, it's unfortunate. Life isn't fair. You can't be mad. Women can do that kind of stuff. We can't. Nobody wants our old nasty ass bath water. I'm sorry.
I really don't like. I could care less.
That's
You're
what
so right. I feel bad, but I don't.
I don't feel bad either, man. Like, hey, it is what it is. Women can sell that kind of stuff. Men can't. I mean, you can put it up for sale. It's just nobody's going to buy it, fellas. So don't get mad. And that's how we're going to end the podcast.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Yeah. Catch us next time. Cool Black Nerd Podcast. Hit us up.